Are you serious? Are you serious? Welcome to the coming apocalypse, that's for sure, where misery and madness and Mike from around the world are going to be with us tonight for the next 3 hours. We're going to talk about a lot of things happening, shocking details of information. And if you are, listen, there was just an earthquake in San Francisco, 3.8, but it really shook the ground. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'll tell you all about it. Let me put a shout out right now if I could. We got some great music as well. Let's put a shout out right now for www. Well, first of all, disclaimer, I forgot. Disclaimer, some of the content on this video is for entertainment only, okay? www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. Look, guys, the feds are out of options. I mean, really, great resets coming. Rate cuts, printing money, balance sheets, reversals. I mean, you're crazy. They're all policy, they call it, but it's a panic. This is the end game economics we're witnessing, where hope replaces discipline and the illusion of control finally breaks. They're not cutting rates because things are getting stronger. Guys, they're cutting the rates because the system is cracking. Inflation is eating away at our savings. The labor market is stalling. Confidence in the dollar is fading fast. And for decades, the feds built a house made out of paper. Now they're striking the match. They're going to burn the thing down and bring in the Great Reset. But until then, there's something you can do. You know they're going to have bubbles. You know there's going to be bailouts. And there's also going to be broken promises and retirements. That's why the smart investors are putting some of their 401k or their savings into gold and silver. That's right, gold, a biblical currency. When's the last time you actually held something that actually is tangibly worth something in your hand? Guys, it's time to get rid of the fiat money and put your savings in something tangible like gold or silver. It is a prophetic promise. These will be around all the way to the very end. Now, guys, how do you find out? Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. Guys, if you qualify, and if I can show this to you, and I don't know if I can, but anyway, 1/10 of an ounce of pure gold, 1/10 of an ounce of one silver bar is what they'll give you for free. One silver bar that's 10 ounces of pure silver. One silver bar. If you qualify, you probably do. Find out how. Go to Noble Gold and find out how. You be glad that you did. Okay? Tell them Pastor Paul Begley sent you. You got to give him my name. All right. Guys, I'm serious about the 5 webinars. We're doing it. 5 webinars. It's a blast to the past. Guys, with aliens, AI, and the Antichrist, and all those other great webinars with people like Steve Quayle, L.A. Marzulli, Russ Dizdar. I mean, some great information from Larry Ragland, and on and on and on. These are 5 complete webinars. These aren't the first 5 that you got a couple months ago. This is a different set. It's 5 webinars from the past, the blast from the past. Missy D, or Jennifer, if you know which the 5 are, if you want to put that up in the chat room, that'd be great, so I can let the people know. Okay. All right. I just don't have the list in front of me at this moment. All right. Summer Fire will be here before you know it. Summer Fire will be here before you know it. It's August 28, 29, and 30. And, of course, we want you to be a part of that, okay? Don't miss it. Get baptized. It's a great time to get baptized. I'm not going to show you that because it's I'm on the road, and this studio doesn't have as good a system. So we'll do the best we can. It's still going to be a great show. And Mike around the world's going to join us. We got the misery, we got the madness, we got the Mike from around the world. Oh, my God. And I was looking at the misery of things that are happening right now. The first guys that are in misery is the USS Abraham Lincoln. These sailors have been out to sea on deployment for 7 straight months, and the ship hasn't even come into one port to get new supplies, to get rid of stuff and get new supplies. Yes, now they've had some new supplies brought out to them by other ships, but these sailors have been stuck in these quarters for 7 solid months. They can't get their mail consistently. They can't call home consistently. They've been under heavy stress, heavy pressure. They've been out there in the Middle East and defending, and they've been shooting. They've been part of the battle. They've been fired upon. They've been firing away. 7 solid months. It's one thing to be on a long deployment on a battleship or on a warship. It's another thing, though, if you're on a deployment, but at least the ship goes in and ports every couple months and stops and lets all the sailors get out, get off the boat for a little bit, get a little bit of fresh air and unwind a moment and then get back on the ship. But when you've been in that ocean for 7 solid months and you've never put your foot on the ground and you're in that closed quarters and you haven't breathed fresh air in forever, I mean, these guys are going stir crazy. Well, a couple of them tried to jump off the ship and just kill themselves. I mean, the psychological pressure that's starting to build on these guys. So it's miserable. It's really, and driving some of them to madness. But that's not the only problems we have tonight. And I want you to pray for all those young men and women, because this is very stressful. The families, everything is off track, okay? Now, the USS George Washington has just been deployed. It's headed to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln to give these guys and these gals a chance to recover, okay? Please pray for them. Misery and madness. I mean, that's what's going on right now, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, that's what's going on, because the United States just hit $40 trillion in debt. What? $40 trillion in debt, and there's no end in sight. There is no plan, or is there? I'm going to tell you tonight that I've heard about the Great Reset from Klaus Schwab, the head of the snake, Klaus Schwab, from the World Economic Forum. And yes, and he said, Klaus Schwab says, and his little buddy, Yuval Noah Harari, his false prophet. But they've been prophesying, the World Economic Forum has been prophesying to us that there's coming a great reset, that the world economic situation cannot recover, cannot turn around, that there's going to require a great global reset. And I'm telling you, that's the plan. We're at $40 trillion. $40 trillion in debt. There's no plan to reduce that debt. There's no plan to turn it around. Our inflation is starting to escalate beyond comprehension. There is no turning around. I don't know if somebody just knocked or not here, but I'm going to tell you what is going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you the misery and the madness is. I'm just getting started. Wait till I tell you who's going to be the next president of the United States. It don't feel good at all, if you ask me. Not at all. Hang on a second. Why can't I? What am I doing wrong here? Paul Begley Technology. I thought I had this set up just right. I did. I'll be right back with more in just a moment.
Sound of mama's crying, or do you turn away when you see the face of the innocent dying? In these darkest days, are you not afraid that it's too late?
encouragement?
You can knock on wood.
Any better encouragement?
Oh, it won't do you no good. You gotta get down on your knees, fold your hands and beg and plead. You gotta keep on praying. You gotta cry, rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. Can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this. This world back to God.
I know the picture's there. I know the sound is there. But it's still going to be a great show. Because the information and the manifestation.
Down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg and plead, and keep on praying.
Back in the studio in a couple of days. You guys are spoiled.
You gotta cry, rain, tears of pain,
Don't
pound the
blame me.
floor and scream his name. Can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this. You can hope the best, make a wish. The only answer is give this world back to God. Oh, give it back. Hey!
Yep, the misery and madness. Misery and madness. I'm sorry tonight. There's pixelation on the screen. The sound won't be always perfect. Sometimes a little better than others. And the internet connection, not that great. But the broadcast is phenomenal. The information is worth it. And tonight, there may be some misery and madness. As I said, you pray for the young men and women on the USS Abraham Lincoln. They are in a miserable situation. They've been out to sea for 7 solid months, have not even docked once. This is a record in the history of the United States Navy. This is too far. So the USS George Washington's on its way, but the president has been in a very difficult situation. He's dealing with the Houthis. He's dealing with Hezbollah. He's dealing with Iran. Iran is shooting at all kinds of different military bases in 9 different countries. The Strait of Hormuz has been blocked off and on. There's been mines setting in the sea. There's been attacks on the Red Sea, on the Mediterranean Sea, on the Arabian Sea, on the Strait of Hormuz, on the Mabadaba Strait, whatever it's called. Okay, and so there's been misery, and now we have a $40 trillion debt is literally leading us right toward the Great Reset. There's no doubt about it. And now we have the numbers on who is leading for be the next president of the United States of America. We're not even to the midterms yet. What? Newsmax was on the phone with me. They're talking about my book that's coming out, of course, called Trump versus the Beast. and Newsmax is publisher, and they're saying, Paul, your book may be the most important document that's going to be released to help people understand the importance of the midterms and the 2028 election. And we cover both of those and why they're big. Well, let me first give you a misery moment. Who's leading in the polls as for the Democrats? On the Republican side, it's J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, pretty well 1-2. And it could go either way. And maybe that's going to be your ticket. Vance, Rubio. Or maybe it's Rubio, Vance. Or maybe DeSantis gets in there. But you basically know who's going to be running there. And the kingmaker's Trump. He'll decide really who it's going to be. Now, while that's going on, the Democrats are in a state of chaos. They don't know if they want to be a democracy. I don't think so. They don't know if they want to be under Sharia law. Some of them want to be under communism. They disguised under socialism. It's just an absolute joke. But guess who's leading in the polls? AOC. That's right. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC is leading the Democrat polls right now, 21%. You talk about misery and madness. But number 2 is gruesome Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, coming in at 17%. Third, this is a shocker, at 16%. Don't say Kamala Harris. Don't even think about it. Don't say Hunter Biden. No, nothing like that. But number 3 is Jon Ossoff. Who? Be careful when you say his name. Jon Ossoff. I told you got to be so careful just when you say the guy's name. It's miserable. It's madness. We can't. Guy president. This is the biggest joke. He's the biggest communist on the face of the earth. Well, maybe AOC is the worst communist. I don't know. Maybe it's Newsom. Maybe Harris. I don't know. But anyway, 21% is AOC. 17% is Gavin Newsom. 16% is Jon Ossoff. I say it very carefully. And coming in at 7% is Kamala Harris for president. Are you serious? Coming in 5th is Pete Buttigieg. Who? Mayor Pete? And then next is Governor Shapiro out of Pennsylvania. Might be the only halfway level guy in the bunch, but they'll never elect him because he's Jewish. They'll never elect him in the Democrats. So anyway, that's kind of what you. AOC, she, the next president of the United States? If so, we're talking misery and madness. But wait, there's more. There's some more madness going on. Remember when the Kennedy Center put President Trump's name and named it the Trump Kennedy Center? Well, everybody went crazy, and some judge said you got to take Trump's name off there. Well, guess what? Now the board of directors of the Trump Kennedy Center have elected, they have passed unanimously to put Trump's name back on the building. So now what? Will it be the Trump Kennedy Center? I mean, again, the madness, the insanity that's going on right now. It doesn't even make sense. None of it makes sense. But listen to this. What does make sense is follow what they're saying about Super El Nino. The scientists just came out today and said there is a 95% chance that Super El Nino is going to create a massive storm that is going to hit the coast of California. What? Miserable madness and maliciousness and moment and the meanness and the malice. I mean, all of it. The misery, the madness, and Mike from around the world, all tonight. But yeah, the Super El Nino is predicted to hit 95% chance that Super El Nino is going to create a massive storm that will smash into California. That's almost saying they guarantee it. Based on the heated up Pacific Ocean, based on the air currents, based on the atmospheric river flow, based on the current flowing from the ocean. All of these things in a combination is putting together the perfect storm. Now that storm doesn't exist yet, but all of the the meteorologists, this is NOAA. That's who's saying this. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Association. NOAA is saying that there's a 95% chance of Super El Nino creating a massive storm to crash into California this season. And the ideal location that it would hit would be somewhere between San Diego, California, and San Francisco, California. Now that's a huge coast. That would say what, LA? Are we talking Los Angeles? No, anywhere in between there. Okay, anywhere in between there. So San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, you're all in the crosshairs. And the Coast Plate had that major earthquake down in Colombia. That is the cork. We're going to be asking Mike about that. Is that what you're saying, Mike? That was a 7.4 earthquake down in Colombia. The death toll is now at 273. There's 3,284 people injured. That death toll is going to rise. The injury number is going to rise. It's miserable down in Colombia right now. And that was the cork that Mike kept saying, you better watch the Coast Plate, because if that thing goes, then it could start creating a cascading effect up the coast of Mexico. Those volcanoes could start going off. And Mike said, if you see the smoke in Mexico, you better get out of San Diego. I'm just telling you. This is the kind of stuff that's got me nervous. It got everybody nervous. And I'm just not sure. I want the sound to sound better. If you give me a moment, I'm going to try to play The Fire of Zion by Israel Hall. I'm trying to make this work right. Give me a moment. Everybody just give me a moment. Oh boy. Give me a moment. I think I can do this right. Say, come on, Paul, you can do this. You can do this, Paul. You think I can? I don't know. Can he? I know. We got bad internet tonight, but we'll get through it. We got Mike from the world. We got misery. We got madness. Unbelievable. I just want it. I just want to be able to put it on here. Here we go. So I'm doing everything really. I'm not in my studio, so I'm gonna try to do my best here, but maybe, just maybe, this will work. Tell me if this is better or not, because I don't know. Is it too loud? Is it just right? Is it stereo? Perfect.
Ancient promise on this mountain, dust of Jacob on my skin. I lift my eyes toward your dwelling, let your kingdom now begin. Name of mercy, name of thunder, Adonai, my only cry. You remember every covenant, write your Torah on my life. Yeshua, Melech HaKavod, fire in Zion, open the gate. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, we bow and we wait. Yeshua, Lion of Yehuda, come take your throne in our praise. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, forever your name we will footsteps in the garden, a voice that called us from our shame. You restore the broken altars, put your breath in bones again. Every tribe and every language turn their faces toward the east. Baruch haba Shem Adonai, come and lead the final feast. Yeshua, Melech HaKavod, fire in Zion, open the gate. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, we bow and we wait. Yeshua, Lion of Yehuda, come take your throne in our praise. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, forever your name we will raise. We will stand, Israel and nations, heart to heart before your light. We will sing only your glory, break the darkness, split the night. Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai Tzevaot, earth and heaven filled with your weight. Kadosh, Adonai, every knee will bow at your name. Yeshua, Melech HaKavod, fire in Zion, open the gate. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, we bow and we wait. Yeshua, Lion of Yehuda, come take your throne in our praise. Holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, forever your name we will raise. Softly now, your people whisper, Baruch Shem, blessed be your name, till you come in clouds of glory. We will watch, we will proclaim.
That's right. Fire in Zion. Whoops. They tried to jump on me. Still trying to jump on me. We're gonna have fun tonight. We're gonna have a little fun. A little misery and madness. But yeah, that was called Fire in Zion, and that was by Israel Hall. Okay, by Israel Hall. Sound better if I do it this way. It's a little more difficult for me, but that's okay. It don't matter about me. It really don't. What matters is that this broadcast is done as best as I can. I'm not in my main studio, so I'm doing the very, very best that I can, okay? All right, let's move on. We've got more to talk about here. In the misery, madness, it's really misery everywhere. Okay, so we know about what happened to you. These guys went off the 40 trillion. That's not good for America. Trump is fighting with everybody. Everybody trying to tear down his name. He's trying to hold up the country. Super El Nino, a 95% chance it's going to hit California coast. That's according to NOAA, a 95% chance. There's not even a storm out there yet. Yet because of Super El Nino, they're very concerned that the state of California will be hit somewhere between San Diego, California, and San Francisco. Speaking of San Francisco, there was a 3.8 earthquake that hit San Francisco today. It did shake some things. It was only 3.8. But we're talking about this very, very volatile fault line that we're going to keep a close eye on. It actually hit what's called San Leandro, California, which is basically right there at San Francisco. So we'll keep an eye on that. But speaking of misery and madness, what can I say? In Venezuela, the misery and the madness continues. A horrible situation. 6,301 people are dead from that earthquake, which was only a 7.4, but it killed now 6,301 are dead. 73,356 are injured, and there's still thousands that are still unaccounted for in the rubble somewhere. We just don't know. They're unaccounted for, so the death toll will continue to rise. Like I said, in Colombia, we had a 7.4 earthquake yesterday. The death toll now at 273 in Colombia, and there's 3,284 people injured there. So the misery and the madness continues there. Also, yesterday there was a solar eclipse of the sun, a total solar eclipse of the sun in Spain and parts of Europe. Exactly 100% in Spain. Spain is weird. Spain won the World Cup. Everybody started celebrating. But then 80,000 illegal migrants crashed the gate doing 98 and invaded the country of Spain. About 50,000 of those have been caught and deported, but 30,000 are still in the country, and they know a lot of them are Iranian sleeper cells. They know they came out of Morocco, but they might have been coming over the border from Morocco. But the thing is, many of them were from Iran, and they are sleeper cells, and not just Iran. Some were Syrians, some were from other nations in the Middle East, and this is a definite Trojan horse approach on Spain. So Spain wins the World Cup, but then, boom, they have this massive illegal immigration, illegal migrant just crashing over their border, and many sleeper cells are in the country now. They had a total eclipse of the sun, a sign from heaven. And so what does this all mean for Spain? Keep your eye on Spain in the next coming months. Something is going on, because this is another way for another invasion of Middle Eastern military-age men that can get into Spain, but not just only Spain. They can move through because of the fact that it's the European Union. You can just move freely. There's no borders there. There's no borders. So if you're in one country, you just go to the next, all of them are all as, and this is what's creating the chaos. United States, we had our Trojan horse period, and that was the 4 years of Joe Bite Me Biden, when he opened the gates wide open and let 12 million people in, of which Trump has only deported 1.7 million. And to do that, he has to fight tooth and nail to get these people out of there. Now, of that 12 million, they weren't all sleeper cells. They weren't all terrorists. But some of them were. A lot of them were. They were military age. A bunch of them came from China and Iran and from other Syria and other nations in Nigeria and other nations in the Middle East. And that they did not have America's best interest at mind. And you might say, well, Paul, you always think everybody's against us. It's not that everybody's against us. It's a lot of people are. I mean, I'm going to give you a statistic here. I just want you to know right now. 39 Christians were killed 3 days ago in the country of Nigeria. 39 Christians. A bunch of people get killed all the time in Nigeria. There's guerrilla warfare, but there's genocide going on right now against the Christians. This is why I'm telling you, there's misery and there's madness, and it's everywhere. But I went and looked today. I said, where is the 10 most miserable countries in the world where chaos is causing such misery? And I went and looked it up, and the number one nation for misery in the world is Venezuela. And it's because Venezuela has been under this, they just got done being destroyed by communism under Hugo Chavez, and Nicolas Maduro. And even though Maduro was taken out of power, that country's wrecked. Its inflation is off the chart. And then they get hit with this devastating earthquake that's killed over 6,000 people. I mean, it's the most miserable country in the world. Number 2 is Syria. I mean, they have been plagued by ISIS. They've been plagued by now. They got a new president. He is an absolute butcher. The Christians have been slaughtered there. The people have been mistreated. It is a horrible place on earth. You don't want to be anywhere near that. The radical Shiites in that country have destroyed it. Number 3, and this isn't me. This is the it's called Misery Index of the worst miserable nations in the world. Number 3 is Brazil. Brazil, of course, again, their inflation, the plagues. They're having all kinds of problems, poverty. They're having all kinds of infrastructure problems. This is a nation that is in a miserable economic situation. I don't know if it should be number 3, but that's where they put it. Number 4 is Argentina. As Argentina is just falling apart, has been, once was one of the greatest nations in South America. They say the people are struggling to make it, and the misery is beginning there in Argentina. Number 5 is Egypt. I'm not so sure I agree with Argentina or Egypt or Brazil, but that's where the misery index is. In Egypt, there's a lot of problems with people. It isn't that they're having war or any of those things. It's just they're having very difficult financial situations in this nation of Egypt, as what they're saying. Number 6 is Nigeria. I just said Christians, there's a genocide going on there. It's a very miserable situation for the people of Nigeria. Number 7 is South Africa. And that's because of the racial genocide and the hatred and the killing and the murdering and the guerrilla warfare and the rebels and all of the stuff that's gone on since Nelson Mandela, since that period of time. First they went through apartheid. That ended with Nelson Mandela, but ever since Mandela had his time, and then all the guys that's followed thereafter, it has made South Africa one of the most miserable places on earth. Number 8 is Mozambique. Their economy, their money is absolutely worthless. I mean, I have a $1 trillion bill, Mozambique money. It's currency from Mozambique, $1 trillion bill, and it's useless. It's worth, I think, $3 US dollars. I mean, that's how bad. $1 trillion is worth $3. But if America doesn't fix our $40 trillion in debt problem, I mean, guys, are you serious? Mozambique's number 8. Number 9 is Ukraine. It's miserable there. I mean, they've been dealing with the onslaught of attacks from Russia now for 4.5 years, and it's not seeming to get better, but it's getting worse. Their economy's in shambles. The farmers have a hard time getting the wheat and the barley out. The people are every night are wondering if they're going to get hit with a rocket or a killer drone. They're being hunted down by killer drones now. They're half the time the power's out in major portions of the country due to the war. It's just miserable. And number 10 is Iran. I mean, if you're living in Iran right now, Iran should, in my opinion, should be number 3. But I'm not in charge of this poll. But Iran, the Ayatollahs have destroyed it. Now the war, and they won't stop. They just keep shooting at United States bases. They keep shooting at their neighbors. They keep trying to shoot rockets if they could into Israel, but they can't. They're messing up the Arabian Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Baba, whatever it is, Manmaba, and also the problems. They're shooting at boats in the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the Persian Gulf, the Oman, the Horn. I mean, just what a mess. What a miserable mess. What madness. And Mike from around the world. Mike, we just need help understanding what's going on. But it's to me, it's just we're losing control here. We're just absolutely losing control. And and someone's got to help us understand what's getting ready to happen here, because it's not going well. Maybe Kevin Wilson can help. And people, and here's the thing, you got these, and I looked at the top 50 list voted on by experts around the world, and America's not in the top 50 miserable nations. Yet if you was to listen to the media, if you listen to the media right now, they'll tell you they think America is miserable. But guys, this is the greatest nation on God's green earth. Are you serious?
Saw a man down on the corner holding a sign. You know, I think he's right. Says the end of time. Saw a newsman on the TV in a Colorado town, telling how some madman shot innocent people down. God, I hate to think what lies ahead. We don't get back to the Bible, start doing what Jesus said. We gotta pray like we've never prayed before. We gotta fight like a soldier in a war. Take a stand.
Take a big stand.
Every woman, every man down on their knees. We gotta beg and plead. We can't give up. We can't give in. God blesses America again. And I wonder what old Thomas Jefferson would say if he could come back and talk to us today. Would he tell us that this country is just what he had in mind? Or would we repent and turn to God? Be the words he cried. And all of this living comes at a high cost, and America needs to wake up before everything is lost. We gotta pray like we've never prayed before. We gotta fight like a soldier in a war. Take a stand. Every woman, every man down on their knees. We gotta beg and plead. We can't give up. We can't give up. We can't give in. We can't give in till God blesses America again. It's time to put the 10 Commandments back on that square. Put the Word of God back in our schools. Open every day with prayer.
Tell the preachers.
Tell all the preachers to start preaching against sin. And maybe then, hey, maybe then, God will bless America again. Hey, maybe then, God will bless America again.
Kevin Wilson, what a great song. I'm sorry for the pixelation on the screen. I'm not in my studio. The internet connection I have here is not good. Visiting with family, the internet not good. So the pixels is not good. The sound not great. And when Mike from the World comes on, you'll hear him pretty clear. He'll be in one ear, not two. I can't make it. I'm not in my studio. I'm doing my very best. Somebody just said, I just got here. Why is this happening? That's why it's happening. My apologies. Just can't make it any better than what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the very best I can with what I got to work with. But I'll be back in the studio in a couple days, and everything will get back to normal. But back on this miserable. I mean, it's Ebola. Ebola. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this. There's 2,000 people dead in the Congo from Ebola out of 4,300 cases. I mean, this is incredible. They're dying at about 45%. If you get Ebola, you got about a 45% chance of dying. Now, that was not the statistics a few years ago when Ebola hit and killed over 11,000 people. The death rate was around 23%, which is terrible. But this is really bad because this is a new strain, a worse strain. Jennifer or Miss Edie, if you know the 5 webinars with your love gift tonight, folks, for $100 or more, I'm going to give you 5 complete webinars. It's not what we did a couple of months ago. This is 5 different ones. One of them is called Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist. I remember that. I don't have those notes in front of me. There's 5 of them, and I don't remember what they are. So I'm looking here in the chat room. Maybe Miss ZD or maybe Jennifer, maybe one of them knows what the 5 are and can post it in the chat room there, and so people can know what they will get. So with your love gift of $100 or more, I'll send you 5 complete webinars. You'll get an email with the all 5 link, easy link. We actually went in there and here we go. No, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let me see. There at Ms. ZD's got it. Okay, a donation of $100 or more, you'll get 5 webinars. Okay, Planet X. What's next? Planet X. That's one of them. Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist. That's one of them. Spiritual warfare. That's a good one. October surprise. Oh yeah, and the apocalyptic signs. So that is the 5 webinars. Thank you, Miss ZD. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you guys out there. RoboMom. Thank all of our mods for helping us out here. But it's miserable. For those of you who just got here, and a lot of folks they don't realize that we cover stuff, and they'll say I watched the program. Well, I didn't watch the whole program. Well, do you realize that there's 100 cases of cyclosporalysis in Louisiana? 100 cases. It's a record. They've never had 100 cases at one time. We're talking about, guys, this has went all across the country now. This is from that 15 people, and I mean, people are deathly ill from this. Again, our nation has got to clean up our act. You got to wash. Let me just tell you something. Ever since they went to GMO food, the lettuce, the vegetables, the potatoes, all of your berries, whether it be strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, mulberries, I don't care, whatever berries you're eating, you got to do more than just rinse them. And I'm telling you, if you're eating carrots or potatoes, or you're eating the lettuce, leafy, any kind of leafy, cabbage, kale, any of these things that you're, green beans out of the garden, I don't care what it is you're eating. But if you're, tomatoes, onions, you got to wash them. You got to scrub them. You can't just rinse them off a little bit and it looks good and think it's all right. It's not all right, because there's a coating on these vegetables that's been sprayed on by the farmers, and also because of the GMO, genetically modified organisms that have been created with a making the outside layer of the fruits and vegetables, making them where it's tougher to clean. And so these bacteria gets on these, and even though when you rinse it off you think it looks clean, it's still not clean. You gotta do more than rinse. You gotta scrub it off. You gotta scrub these things clean before you decide to eat them raw. Now if you're cooking stuff, you're gonna be all right, because that, if you get it at a high enough temperature, it's going to kill anything that's in there. But if you're eating raw tomatoes, raw carrots, raw radishes or onions, you're eating lettuce or cabbage or kale or any of that leafy stuff, and you think you're okay, and you sprinkle it on that taco, what? You'll want to make a run for the border for sure. I'm serious. So this stuff is bad, okay? This stuff is bad, and I'm trying my best to help people not to get sick, but it's bad. So again, the misery, the madness, Mike from around the world's got to help us understand what it all means. Again, and some of you may not realize this, but yeah, J.D. Vance is leading in the polls to be the next president of the United States, with Marco Rubio right in there with him, and really Ron DeSantis coming in a distant third, somewhere between in this process. One of those three will probably be the Republican nominee. It depends on how Trump wants to work it. But on the other side, it's chaos. And AOC is now leading in the polls with 21% of the polls. And then it's Gavin Newsom coming in at 17%. And then it's John Ossoff. What? Be careful with his name. John Ossoff out of Texas, who right now is running for something. I can't remember. I think he's running for the Senate or the Congress. But he is all of a sudden jumped up as a potential presidential candidate. Now, the guy's not in any office at all right now, and he ran once and lost. And he's a nut. And guys, here's the thing. These guys are all socialist, communist, or you got Mandami out there. They're running around. I mean, they either want Sharia law or no law, which is lawlessness, super socialism, communist, which is tyrancy, totalitarian government. Are you serious? AOC's at 21%. Gavin Newsom's at 17%. John Ossoff is at 16%. Kamala Harris is at 7%. How scary is that? You talk about a fruit salad. You talk about we need to wash the vegetables. And then Pete Buttigieg, it's the last guy you want. He's at 5%. And Governor Shapiro, who might be the only one of the bunch that's got any kind of understanding here, they'll never elect him. He's at 5%. And it goes on and on and on. Hunter Biden's even in. I mean, everybody you can think of is in there. It's getting ugly. It's getting atrociously ugly. We need some God-fearing. Where's my daddy when I need him? He would tell you, you better get right with God. And summer fire's coming. We're going to honor this man.
From the mountains of Hazard, Kentucky, to the cornfields of Indiana, Charles Begley found the courage to be strong. Born during the Depression, through World War II, his faith and love of God and country could be seen coming through. 65 years in love with my mama, his hands worked and tore the ground. He raised us 5 children, and the gospel was his sound. There's nobody that could be stronger. There's no one's faith that could last longer. The strength in Daddy's hands could be felt across the land.
Yep.
No one could be stronger. No faith could last longer. As he pastored in Stark County, Indiana, many souls
Yeah, I miss my dad, and I know any of you who've lost your dad or your mother. I know the pain. Uh, there's mornings I get up and I think to myself, what would he want me to do about this situation? I want you to pray for Pastor Walt, who is in beyond critical condition with cancer that has spread through his body. And I had prayer with him, and he cried. And his son died a week ago, and they buried him, and Pastor Walt couldn't go to the funeral. I want you to pray for my former producer, Bob Poplin's wife, who has cancer. It's spread, and she's on a respirator. And they're wonderful Christian people as well. Would you pray for my sister who has cancer and is going through chemotherapy treatments right now? She's one of my sisters. I want you to pray for my mom, who's severe case of dementia from Parkinson's. But my mom is going to be able to, they're bringing her from Florida to Indiana to because one of my nieces is about ready to have a baby. And so my sister, who takes care of my mother, it's going to be a grandchild for her, so she's coming up for the birth of this child and bringing my mother with her. She's got to keep taking care of her. But so Mama's going to be at church, at Community Gospel Baptist Church, coming up September 13th. So it's just something to keep in mind and pray about. And if you want to come see Mom, it might be the last time she ever attends a service there. We thought she wasn't going to ever get to go back again, but she's going to due to the situations. And pray for her. It's tough for her to travel. I mean, real tough for her to travel with Parkinson's, but she's tough, man. She's tough. But Daddy's gone. But sometimes I want to talk to him about what's happening in ministry, what's happening in India. I would have loved to have told him all the things that's been going on, and the people that's been saved, and the people have been healed. I'd love to talk to him about this country. He loved America. He would love my book that's coming out, Trump versus the Beast. So I dedicate the book to him. But anyway, Summer Fire's coming, and I would show you this, but this old church, we're remodeling the church, and we'll have a special banner that will be hanging and is on the outside of the church, up there on the porch where my daddy used to stand and greet people coming in, and it's a life-size banner of my dad standing there with his hand outreached, welcoming people to the house of the Lord. That will be on display at Summer Fire. We need your help tonight, really to help us fund Summer Fire. We're bringing in Kevin Wilson. We're bringing in Bishop Larry Ragland. We're, of course, Kevin Copley will already be there, myself. But we're going to cater in all the food for 2 meals on Saturday, lunch and dinner. And those are all free for the people that are coming. But if somebody out there says, man, I'd like to just help out, and here's a love gift tonight of $100 or more, I'm going to send you 5 webinars. 5. Spiritual warfare, what's next, Planet X, AI, aliens, AI, Antichrist, October surprise, and there was a 5th one. I mean, these are just 5, the complete webinars. You get all 5 of these webinars. It's a blast from the past, and I really think you'll love them. They got Steve Quayle's in there. I think there's 3 that might have L.A. Marzulli. I know we got L.A. Marzulli and 2 at least. We got Steve Quayle. We got Russ Dizdar, a full 1-hour interview with him that people have never seen. I've just only if you ever had this webinar. Oh my, Larry Ragland's in it. Mike Around the World's in all 5 of them. I can't remember some great names in these 5. Oh. So your love gift, thank you so much. There it is. Your love gift of $100 or more. tonight. Your love gift of $100 or more. I'm going to let this, I'm serious. Whatever you can do, if Lord blesses you, give your tithe and offering tonight of $100 or more. I'm going to send you What's Next, Planet X, Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist, the October Surprise, Apocalyptic Signs, and Spiritual Warfare. That's the 5th one. Okay? And I'm going to send them to you. And it'll be a blessing to you, I guarantee you. Guys, tonight we've got misery, we've got madness, and we got Mike from around the world. We want to know what's going on with the war in the Middle East. The United States replacing the USS Abraham Lincoln with the USS George Washington. That's going to take place the next 2-3 weeks as soon as the USS George Washington gets there. The nation's hit $40 trillion in debt. The courts are trying to take Trump's name off everything. We got a super El Nino. NOAA is predicting that there's a 95% chance that the west coast of California is going to get hit with a massive storm from Super El Nino. We had an earthquake today in San Francisco, 3.8. Everybody felt it. Venezuela, the death toll has hit over 6,301 and over 73,000 people injured. In Colombia, the death toll hit 273 and another 3,200 people injured. There was a super solar eclipse over Spain. What can Spain? They're feeling the pain. Was this an apocalyptic sign from God for Spain to understand what they're getting ready to deal with this illegal immigrant migration, this Trojan horse attack on them with a bunch of Iranian sleeper cells that came in, and 39 Christians butchered in Nigeria, and Ebola death toll now rising to 2,000, and we got 100 new cases of this cyclospiralis, this stomach. I mean, this is bad, guys. Bad stomach digestive problem. I mean, with vomiting, diarrhea, explosive situation. This is not good. And don't eat the lettuce. Whatever you do, don't eat the lettuce. And wash all the vegetables. Wash your onions. Wash your tomatoes. Wash your potatoes. Wash your carrots. Wash your beans. I mean, wash all the leafy stuff. The cabbage, the lettuce, the kale. Don't eat the Kamala Harris word salad. Wash it clean. It's bad. And so all of it's going on right now. AOC is leading the polls to be the next president of the United States in 2028. I mean, are you serious? Are they trying to do this to us? I mean, oh, no. What can I do? Is there anything I can do right now? It's crazy. Maybe Kevin Wilson can help bring a little grace to the situation. Grace will lead the way.
I have won some battles and I have lost some wars. I've been wounded a time or two and I bear the scars. There's been times when it's hard to find strength just to go on. But mercy said, just lean on me. When you're weak, I am strong. Mercy brought me through the storm. It brought me through the rain. Brought me through the heartache and all of the pain. When I was in sin's darkness, couldn't find the light of day. Hey, mercy brought me out, and grace led the way. Well, I've heard the doctor say we've done all we can do, and I've cried a million tears from the things I've been through. This old heart's been broken by the people that I love, but I felt mercy's healing hand reach down from above.
Sing it, everybody.
Mercy brought me through the storm. It brought me through the rain. Brought me through the heartache and all of the mercy brought me out, and grace led the way. Mercy brought me through the storm, it brought me through the rain, brought me through the heartache and all of the pain. When I was in sin's dark, the light day, mercy brought me out, and grace led.
Kevin Wilson, folks. I mean, just another great song that by Kevin Wilson. Man, he's got to be one of the best songwriters I've ever seen in gospel music. Guys, welcome to the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Yeah, it's true. There's misery, there's madness, and there's Mike. Can he help us? Well, he's going to help us understand it. I just don't know where we're going with the Middle East. I really don't know at this moment. I mean, because you can't deal. How do you deal with Iran? How do you deal with them? And where are we going now? $40 trillion in debt? Guys, we can't sustain this. I mean, the Great Reset is going to happen. They're going to start everything over. That is, my opinion, is when they're going to implement social credit scores, microchip technology, and the beginning stages of a system that will eventually lead us to the mark of the beast. Now, I believe that system is going to get laid in place before the Antichrist arrives. The Antichrist can't reveal himself till the third temple is built, according to the Bible, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. That says that the man of sin, the lawless one, the wicked one, will walk into the temple of God before the worshipers of God and declare that he is God. He will reveal himself. So that temple has not been built, but they are on the brink of building it. And the beast system is not in place yet, but they're on the brink of implementing it. And they have to get they really got to get the nations of the world crying for a better security system. And that's exactly what we see taking place. And the Great Reset of Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum is absolutely pointing that direction. That's why you're seeing guys like Mandami, the little commie, who's also part radical Islamist. He's, how in the world does this combination? But we see in more and more and more of these guys, this Al Said guy, and these others that are running for AOC, she's communist. Then you've got Bernie Sanders. Well, he's a communist. But then you got, you got Rashid Tlaib. She's wants Sharia law. I mean, you got AOC. She's not sure if she wants that or not. And you got John Ossoff, which nobody knows what in the world he wants, but he's third place in the polls for 2028. John who? John Ossoff. Be careful when you say his name. And while you're talking about him, you got Kamala Harris. She's got a fruit salad and word salads, and you got to wash that stuff off and clean it real good, guys. Don't eat it; you'll get that cycloparalysis or whatever it is. I mean, this is getting ugly. Mike Around the World is going to join us here any minute. Wow. I mean, I'm to the point where I'm not sure what we do. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows what we need to do, but I'm trying my best to tell you. Mike from around the world is coming to help us understand the misery, the madness, the meanness.
Just tuning in. It's not complicated. Type in the chat room that you want to be saved. It's the salvation station, beyond imagination. It's the gospel invitation to save you from your sin. It's the salvation station, your soul vindication, a brand new creation if you just let Jesus in. Beyond imagination, it's the gospel invitation to save you from your sin. It's the salvation station, your soul vindication, a brand new creation if you just let Jesus in.
Absolute truth. It is the salvation station. Guys, if you just let Jesus in. That's the problem. People don't want to let Jesus in, guys. They just don't want to let Jesus in. Mike Around the World is going to join us any moment now. There's some other things happening in the chaos while we're waiting on Mike. And that is, the madness and the misery. But it doesn't go away. Oh, good. So glad he's calling. Let's just get right to it. Joining us right now from somewhere around the world, it is Mike from around the world. Well, let's try that again. Mike, can I hear you?
Pastor Paul.
Yes.
You got me.
I got you, Mike. How you doing tonight? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's good to hear from you.
It's good to be here. Good to hear from you, and hope all is well. You sound good. You sound energized.
Yes, I'm not around lunatics.
So, how did you manage that? Are you on some isolated island somewhere?
Well, this is just filling up. The world is filling up with lunatics.
Oh, why don't you help us understand? What do you mean by lunatics, Mike?
Well, it's insanity.
It really
is insanity. Just listening to what the populace wants and what they're willing to do and what they're doing. What are they doing?
Well, Mike, Look at the poll. We'll start with this. The poll that says AOC is leading now for the 2028 presidential at 21%, and then it's Gavin Newsom at 17%, and then it's some guy named John Ossoff who doesn't hold a position anywhere, and the guy's all over the lot on what he thinks about stuff. Then it's Kamala Harris. So what are they doing? We got communists, we got radical Islamists, we got all kinds of different people. We got lunatics, is your word.
Lunatics. I mean, they're taking over. They're taking over. Unfortunately, they're taking over. It's, you know what? It's a clear indication of what we face during the next election. We are here. Oh, it doesn't stop there either. I mean, it goes pretty deep.
What do you think about the midterms coming up here? Are we going to see a shift in power, Mike, or how do you think that's going to shake out?
We will. Well, you know, there are too many people in Iowa. Iowa's a dead giveaway. Their opinions matter, and they can represent the rest of the body. And in Iowa, believe it or not, they're leaning towards the unknown. They've never done that before. There are people in Iowa who would vote to the right no matter what. Now they're leaning in the other direction, right? Because they're concerned about what they don't care about promises.
No.
They care about what is, and they can only see where it's going, right?
Yep,
and it's not working where it's going.
No, it's not.
But it should really let all of us know that this is not a one man can fix the issue.
Nope.
Washington is controlled by groups of people, right? Not just a few people, but groups of people who have opinions and plans. And if we don't intercede, you know what, Pastor Paul, I'm telling you what, I tell you why I'm energized, is because if there's never been a clearer indication that God's children, their voices have to be heard.
Amen. Amen.
Prayer is awesome, right? But faith without works is dead.
That's right. In other words, you're
saying we can see the result of that.
We got to believe, but we got to go out. We got to get out and vote, but we got to get out and start spreading the word. I mean, we can't just sit back and complain, right?
That's right. Because think of it this way: people have prayed. They have prayed, but there are things that God has enabled us to do, and we have to exhaust everything He enabled us to do. God's not going to tie our shoes. He won't do that because He gave us the ability to tie our shoes. Amen. That's an example. Amen. Well, if we have an ability to write letters, if we have an ability to organize speeches, sermons, whatever we have to do to let the world know, hey, we're heading in the wrong direction because we have left our first love.
There you go.
We have left the core of what America is, and it's not going to be America until we get back to the core. We cannot be a country without the Father. It's not going to work.
Amen. And you're right. I mean, we got to do more than just complain about it, pray about it, and sit back and watch about it. We got to do something about it. And to your point, write letters, make phone calls, flood the organize. That's right. Because I can tell you, the other side is. That's what they do. They organize. They don't even have a message. But because they can organize, they can throw out anything and it'll stick on the wall. And that's what's making a very dangerous situation developing in our country. Speaking of things a little dangerous, Mike, can we talk about the USS Abraham Lincoln situation? And I understand the USS George Washington is going to come to relieve them, but 7 months at sea without ever getting to a port, what does that do to a sailor? I mean, you know.
Well, prior to going into this conflict in the first place, there was a bit of confused morale, right? You have some pretty zealous soldiers out there, yes. But some of these sailors, when they're out on mission, right, they don't see home for about 7 months anyway.
Yeah.
Some of these sailors, they don't see the light of day for months. Do you know that? They're not allowed on certain decks of certain boats. And so That's not very healthy.
No.
It's not very healthy. Many of them, they miss their families. Many of them don't know their own children. And, they're loyal to the country, but at some point, that takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is this. I know they're going to cover in the public media. They'll likely go and talk to the sailors and cover morale and ask them questions. But one of my major gripes is that when these soldiers see the infighting in Washington, that just takes the morale out of you.
Yeah.
Because some of these soldiers do not know what they're fighting for.
Amen. Amen.
Right?
Amen.
And when you have these conflicted messages, it's like a child seeing their mother and their dad fight every day. That's a broken home.
Yeah.
And so you have soldiers with that same disposition. So, of course, they're going to have, the stats say that suicide goes down once deployed. But see if this makes sense. When they're at port and when the soldiers are going out, suicide is say it's at 50%, right? Or let's just say 50, let's give it a point number. When they go out to sea, that number drops to about 30 points.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But see that they're trying to cover up data points. What it means is normally in the armed services, when you deploy to any combat situation or hazard situation, it is discouraged to go on sick call for the Army, to go into, see this person and that person, but to stay on mission. And so something else has to be uncovered to truly reflect those numbers. I don't believe it's a reflection upon the Department of War. I don't believe that. I believe that the mixed messaging is at the heart of it. Because if a soldier knows they're going home, right?
Yeah.
And they have positive leadership, and they know they're going home, that can do them another 7 months, right? That can energize them for 7 months. But when they have no idea what they're fighting for, what the end game is, or they don't know how long they're going to be there, that can drain a soldier. And of course, those are disparaging thoughts they begin to have. I believe that's what's happening.
I think, Mike, you hit the nail on the head, that the fact that in Washington, D.C., between the two parties, all the bickering and complaining and fighting and scratching and arguing, and the media helping fuel the flame, the soldier says, what are we doing? Because there's not a clear message. As long as there is a united front of what we're doing, the soldiers are very loyal. American soldiers are extremely loyal to the nation because they are all a volunteer force.
That's right.
Nobody drafted them. These guys and gals made the decision themselves, and they don't care to put their life on the line for this country. But they got to know what in the world we're doing, and what we're watching in Washington is absolutely a farce. I mean, just watching Fauci on the stand is enough for me to say, what am I fighting for this country for when nobody will tell the truth for nothing? I mean, and what about Fauci?
It's fair.
I mean, what about him? What about Fauci?
Fauci, I'll tell you something. He's like the doorman of some very bad people, right? I'll say this. This is controversial. In time, no one's going to look at Fauci. How about that?
Wow.
No one's going to talk about Fauci. There's some real, just people there who have no feelings, no heart, no anything. They're like robots, and they have done some things, Pastor Paul, that are just, they're cruel. What they need to do is what they will do. They're going to trace the approval authority on many of these projects. They're going to trace the necessity behind these projects. They're going to find who they're looking for. And no one's going to talk about Fauci. Fauci may be responsible for certain things. He's a public figure. He's a face. He's a stamp, right? On a folder containing some dark things. But he is by no means the heart of it, right? Even if they got rid of Fauci, right now, it's not going to change anything.
No, you're right.
It won't. And I believe that's part of the issue. If I could briefly bounce back to the armed services,
right ahead.
Back in the beginning of the 80s, the soldiers were not engaged in the news. During the 80s, all the way up until probably about 1990, they really weren't engaged with the news. And so it was a much stronger force. And during the 90s, during the first Gulf War, right, the Persian Gulf War, they allowed reporters in to see everything that was happening, and they reported on everything. Of course, they were kicked out by the by command. Reporters were, which saved a lot of time. But they persisted. Reporters did. They got back in there with the other wars that followed. When they did this, they started to report on things that normally happen in war. They didn't understand how there could be a casualty that had nothing to do with the war. Right? You have casualties of war.
Yes.
And so they began to ask for accountability. They made the public stick because in blowing up of some base, somebody's house would get blown up in the process, right? That was innocent. And so what they did was they riled up the people, and the people wanted accountability. So from that day forward, it became a very sticky process to go to war. You had to watch everything. There were persecutions happening in the armed services. There were people who had to take the fall for, wrong calls or maybe a misfire, something like that. So it became real sticky. Nobody wanted to fight. Nobody did, because they were prosecuting too many soldiers. As of late, the same headhunting type of practice by the media, because media, and now I don't say this against them, it's at them. They have an ignorance when it comes to war. War is not it's not something that you do, that you engage in, that's going to be perfect. It's just not. When you go to war, there are going to be casualties. And when they call for the heads of U.S. soldiers who have volunteered to serve their nation, and other military folks who have done the same thing, and when they call for their heads because they heard about some misfire, some friendly fire, something like that, that destroys morale. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Then you have soldiers now with social media who are engaged in all the news. So when you have one soldier talking about the Democrats, you have another talking about the Republicans.
Yeah.
They're serving in the same unit, but now these two soldiers are at odds, right? Because they have two different ideologies, and because their leadership is fighting against each other, they now back their respective leadership individuals, and so they have no peace. So it's just a bunch of disorganized,
Confusion.
emotional weights that they have to carry. Then when they go to fight, there are mixed messages. For example, we need to engage Iran so that we don't have a nuclear war in the future, right?
Exactly.
But then you have the other side that says, well, there was never going to be a nuclear war. Why are we doing this? You're wasting time. So when a soldier hears you're wasting time, then you're having a nuclear war. That's bad for them. But it all begins at leadership. And now what you have is you still have reporters who are pushing a different narrative. They're trying to stir, because people like drama, right?
Yep.
It's bad to say this, but normal news will never get you. People are not going to watch that. They're going to watch drama. They want drama. They want some exciting things, something they never heard. And these organizations know this. So as long as they're getting paid, they're going to push the drama stew. And everybody's going to get drama stew. Where they can't find it, they're going to make it up. Or they're going to make drama out of something. For example, Trump moving to another aircraft. Why is that news?
That's not news. Why is that news?
Why is that not simply common sense? And why did the media report on that in the first place? I have an issue with that. You don't report on things like that. As the president of the United States, regardless of who they think the person is, or like, that represents our nation. And that should be the number one person that should not fall at all, because if he falls, that will destroy our military's morale even further and cause something else we don't want. But they report on that like there was an issue, right? Because he tricked everybody else, but he also tricked them. They get offended. Well, we should know where he is all the time. No, you should not.
No, they shouldn't.
You should not.
Well, Mike, we can't trust them. So this is why they don't get to know where he's at. And anyway,
Well-
how are you going to protect the president if you're telling everybody and his brother what he's getting
There
ready
you
to do
go.
and what
There
plane
you
he's
go.
on? I mean, this was a
There you go,
serious
which is-
threat.
there you go.
Was it a serious threat, Mike? I mean, obviously it had to be. They wouldn't have been shifting him to 3 planes.
There are serious threats at home. And there are serious threats overseas, right? And here's the bottom line with this. If the media knows, then the enemy knows. So the media is not privy to information before some move like that of POTUS. Why should they be privy to it? Because they're
Right.
going to talk about it if the enemy finds out, and all of a sudden missiles start going in that direction.
Right.
Right? So they shouldn't know.
No.
They should have that common courtesy. But this is why I say that, it's insanity. They act like they really do act like they should know.
I know. Well, let me ask you that while we're talking about the Middle East and we're talking about the military here a little bit, what is the plan? I mean, the president's trying every way in the world to stop a nuclear war, to stop Iran from using nukes or getting their hands on them. And that is not just them creating them themselves, but that's them getting their hands on them from one of the other whether it be China, Russia, or someone else. So having that in, what do you think the president is going to try to do going forward? He wants to negotiate with people, but they're not rational. They'll never negotiate. What do you think is going to be the plan? There's got to be a plan B or C here on how to deal with Iran?
Well, there is. But Iran, as I said before, if people haven't figured this out by now, Iran has plenty of surprises. They have a more robust infrastructure than previously thought. If they were not such a big deal, all of this would have been over by now. So this is a direct communication that Iran has. They have a hardened facilities throughout Iran. It's just not one; it's a few. But you have to be sure about what you're doing because they're very clandestine when it comes to their underground facilities. And of course, there's always something new being found out with Iran. It also means that everybody did not have proper intelligence on Iran, right? Yeah, I mean, clearly they underestimated just how resilient they are.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
true.
we're still doing our. It is sad to say this is costing us a lot of money. We've hit them with just about everything, and they're still doing the same thing. Right. So there's going to be a change in strategy. The populace will demand that. So will the situation itself. But the outcome is going to be the same. Nobody is going to change the outcome. We have a country that is spiritually tainted by a real darkness, not fake darkness, but a real darkness. And so long as they hit them and disperse things in Iran, they're just going to spread out and infect other places. Iran, their ideology is like a disease. It's been adopted in various parts of the Middle East. It's been effective. It's becoming a problem here in America. There are things happening in America that they don't want to give credit to terrorists, so they're not going to name it as such, but there are things happening here that are from them, right? Things that they're not announcing on the news as some terrorist activity.
Yeah.
Or they're being careful about that because you don't want your enemy to know that their plan succeeded in certain ways. But we've had more mishaps since since that tension with Iran began to build up. Plenty of things have happened here, and it's only a matter of time before a few of them are quite effective, right? They've been probing us big time. I mean, big time. They have AI agents probing us, and it doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to defend yourself against an AI agent that can replicate itself unless you are some sort of an agent programming guru, right?
Yeah.
So we've had some utility mishaps, not just the water, but some other utility mishaps. They know that there are people within this country that have been attempting things or planning something, right? So yeah, there's going to be a change in strategy. It's going to demand, Pastor Paul, an extreme move forward. It will. It just will. But it will, once they get this established, it's not going to be a conquering of anybody. It'll be more like a division of ideologies down a very clear line. And this is when the real problems begin. So imagine, Pastor Paul, a dissolved type of world where politics is phasing out and something else is moving in.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
when this happens, people from one country are going to uproot themselves and go to another, right?
Yep.
Because they will take down certain borders. They will have other agreements. And any countries who don't want to, they don't want to participate, they're going to be isolated from some of the main, those main economic wealth of the world, let's say, because we're going to see a change in some powers. We're going to see a change, a severe change in ideologies. America is going to have to face its own issues. We also have, I still believe they're timing this to a problem we have with the earth itself, right? But a severe change will most certainly come. It's not going to be the end of the world. No, nothing like that. It'll just be a change in how we see each other.
Well, Mike,
right?
let me, as we're talking about that, how we see each other, there's two things we want to talk about. One is $40 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
There's no plan to get rid of the debt. The plan must be to tear down the house and just rebuild. I mean, are we talking about the Great Reset here? And if we are, how close is that from being the implementation of that, or are we already watching the implementation of that?
Pastor, the system so far, it is embedded. It's changing right before everybody's eyes. It's not something that one would readily identify.
Yep.
Right? So it's going to be one of those situations where we all wake up one day and we see a massive change in how we do things. And that's how we're going to do it going forward. It'll be so quick and sudden. It'll be almost inescapable.
Will it be global?
Right?
Will it be global, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Because we stand apart. America stands apart right now. But I have to tell you, the other countries are putting everything into place right now. They have been for some time, right? They have been for some time. There's a rush right now for the containment, I'll say, of a certain type of AI agent. Containment, not so much the launch. It's already launched, but they're working on containment. Night and day, 24 hours a day, they're working on containment. They're also reestablishing how our systems work for the purpose of containment. Once these agents continue to unmask, because AI is not like any other industry, okay? Instead of a person seeing progress month to month, right? The first month is true work. AI is developed, the agents are developed. The next month is they implement a few things, right? The next month, the whole system has grown by a year. The next month, the whole system has grown by 3 years. The next month, the whole system has grown by 20 years. You see how they go? So it's an exponential trend, an advancement, just like that. And it's unstoppable, right? Because AI will not slow down for us. It's not. And it already has access to quite a few things. And it's always surprising people. Some of the experts with AI, and I mean the experts, say we have about one and a half months left before we see all the signs of a sentient AI. How about that?
Wow.
1.5 months left. And these guys are not, they're not,
now, when you say
they're not, these are not talking points for that.
Now, these ascension AIs, have they already been released and they're just gathering their own?
Yeah, they're out there.
Okay.
They're building, they're gathering. Here's the problem. just like OpenAI, just like Facebook's AI, just like Elon Musk's his AI. An AI system, right, can build itself, and no one will ever know it. It can grow
Unbelievable.
beyond imagination, and no one can track it. It can divide itself into too many systems and then reassemble at will, right? So that means it could disperse itself throughout every system it can contact. Right now, Chat GTP, right? Say if everybody had that on their systems, it could disperse itself along everybody's PC, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's nothing because it's only like 100, maybe 100 megabytes of data. But then all of a sudden when it needs to, it can assemble in less than a second, right? And then process a massive calculation. This is how that works. So it's very difficult. It's almost impossible to track the growth of AI. And anybody who says they can control the growth of AI, they've already lied, because all the experts, the engineers, not the people who work with the agents, those are not the experts. The experts are the ones who built the things in the first place, who did the machine code, right? Those who do the machine code for AI, those who configure the architecture for AI, those are the experts. The rest are simply operators, right?
Gotcha.
To use an agent,
Gotcha.
that's just an operator.
Yep.
But the AI itself, the neural networks and all that, these things are growing. And every data center that comes online, right, it's just going to increase its capacity.
Let's talk about that. So these data centers are being built all across America in massive amounts of them, which requires in trillions of dollars of U.S. taxpayers that's being in capital that's being funded into this, not just our tax dollars. I mean, big businesses are spending capital as well. And the question's going to be, can they build these quick enough and get them operating and bringing revenue fast enough to cover their capital cost? If
they're not looking at revenue. They're not even looking at revenue.
So there's going to be a new system. A great reset's going to happen. This 40 trillion, it could be 50 trillion, it could be 80 trillion, it doesn't matter. There's a day coming when the slate is going to get wiped clean, and a recalculation, a revaluation of property, of money, of precious metals, of crypto, of everything. Am I right? I mean, and is AI the one going to do this?
Well, the debt is so large and the numbers are so staggering, right? It's outside of the realm of most people who think about money, number one, right? So money is going to have to go to a new point system anyway.
Yeah.
Of course, our current economy was established after World War II.
Yeah.
It's been going ever since, where the dollar kind of reigned and all that. Well, all the other countries have leveled this out, right? They've leveled everything out. With this new system in place, everybody is ready to start acting on it. After the population goes down a little bit, it'll implement itself. But we're gonna have a pure digital system that manages everything else. So imagine a person still has you'll have your money. People are going to have their money. I'm telling you that now, because we could go $800 million trillion in debt and still operate. Right. That system is bookkeeping. That bookkeeping really does not control all the resources. There's a cap on what it can actually affect. Right. So it's more of a regulation system. Right, an agreement system is what the current system is. The digital system is far beyond that. It is accurate. It accounts for everybody in the world. This is going to trip everybody out. They have already allocated funds for everybody in the world. Right now, they say viable people in the world. They've allocated funds, which means that, remember that universal income thing?
Yes, I do.
People are going to go from having hardly anything to being sustained.
Right.
Really sustained. The difference is going to be this. With a digital financial system, you can see everything, right? That means you can see every problem with everything. Passball is accurate, so it'll hit the medical system. It'll hit the food system. Food and medicine are going to go together, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be tightly managed. Most of the medication you may not ever find again. Some of the foods you may not ever find again, right? So people will have they'll have the ability to get this and to get that.
It sounds like centralized food distribution and centralized medical support is, in other words, federally controlled or even globally controlled.
I think it'll be more globally controlled than anything else, right?
Yep.
And I believe that it's almost like a ration card, right? So if it doesn't matter how much money you have, with a ration card, you can only have so much per person, right? So that's what's going to level everything out. And with AI, even right now, the simulations have been done on that. The management of that is precise, is accurate. If they were to flip everything over to that system right now, they could do it. They could do it right now. The only thing missing is a bioprint for each person. And with some of the newer technologies, it's a roll mark, or actual roll mark. So you know how in the old days they used to take that little roller print thing and print a signature or something like that, right?
Yep.
The same thing can be applied to your skin. The only difference is there are different materials with the whatever they're putting on your skin that absorb in your skin, but it never leaves. It's permanently there.
What?
Yep.
So you're okay. It's almost it's like a tattoo.
It's not even intrusive. It absorbs into the top layer of your skin, right? It'll bond, so you're not going to get it back off again. Once you have that, the system can pick up those chemical sets within you, and there you are. You're identified. So chemical identification of an individual with a bioprint is impossible to duplicate.
Yeah. So in other words, we don't have to have a microchip. They can do it with this tattoo material.
That's right.
That's chemically inundated upon the skin or on the forehead, wherever they want to put it, and and it's also linked to your bio footprint. And that bio footprint could be, your date of birth, your social security number. That's no big deal. It's your irises, your DNA, your
bone structure, all that.
Yeah, facial recognition, tied to the stamp.
That's right. That's right. Because it's people will ask for a system here shortly. They're not going to want to use passwords ever again. They don't want to.
No,
they're not going to want.
They want a foolproof way. And that may be how that global, this is the Great Reset. The Great Reset has 1 million different reasons that needs to be done, is what the world's going to think. No more, we're going to be told no more wars, no more hunger, no more homeless, no more going sick. Everybody's going to have sustainability. Is that what we're going to hear? Is that kind of the message?
Yeah, you know what I think that'll be? Because think of it this way. We're already at war with Iran, right?
Yeah.
The war's going to escalate. It'll escalate. Okay. It's going to flow throughout the Middle East.
I'm writing that down right now. That's big. That's a big news right here.
Yeah, it's going to escalate. It's going to trickle out. It's quick. Even right now, these faith pieces are popping up all throughout the Middle East, right? So there's a type of radical devotion taking place between Muslims and everybody else. Many are already talking about the world as though it's under Muslim rule. Now, this is fairly new. This is fairly new. So when you see, I can't name any countries, but when you see them and they have a library of how to run the world, right? How to construct the nations and everything else based off the Muslim religion. Okay, we have really changed in times, right? The times are not the same. And for some reason, there are too many nations that have, like this weather phenomena that we're having.
Yep.
And they're trying to gently give it names. They're giving it excuses, like, Super El Nino.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's an excuse. That's my opinion. That's an excuse. These things, it's forming. They're going to run out of names to justify what's happening. They're trying to keep the fear level down. They have to give some sort of something, right? So people have something to anchor to.
Noah has just said that there's a 95% chance that a massive storm will hit California in this season due to Super El Nino. 95% chance that California's going to get hit with a typhoon or cyclone or hurricane or whatever you want to call it. That is a. So are you saying that's the kind of thing that they can't hide it forever?
No, they can't. They know it's just beginning.
What does that mean, Mike? Why would there be
know
a
it's just
storm?
beginning.
Can you help us understand that? Why would there even be,
They know the conditions of the earth. They know that the lower atmosphere is hotter than it's ever been before. They know the oceans are hotter than they've ever been before. They know that most of the ice has shifted, right? Yeah. They know that the North and South Poles look very different than what they did. They know things like Lake Mead is drying up completely. They know all these things. They know the repercussions. They know that the average storm is every storm we've had, there have been people died during these storms. Every rainstorm, every storm we've had, somebody died during these storms. The other day, rain fell, 3 inches fell in a half an hour. I didn't see that anywhere. I didn't see it anywhere on the news. No. In fact, there are a few things I haven't seen anywhere on the news, right? And so we have these events because the lower atmosphere is holding a lot of moisture, right, when this forms. And the oceans are driving this. They can call it whatever they want, but the ocean waters heat up, they evaporate, hit the lower atmosphere. The lower atmosphere is also a bit warmer, so it can hold all that moisture, and it drops it inland. Simple as that. Right. It goes up, condenses, and falls.
In Stark County, Indiana, where my dad's church is, and we're going to be having that meeting coming up, it rained 2 days ago. It rained 6.5 inches of rain in 18 hours. 3-inch hail fell, and 71 mile an hour straight line winds. The entire county lost power. Entire county. And it was nowhere on the news.
Yep.
This is huge. It's never before ever happened.
And we had a storm that started from the northern places of America to the southernmost places, and it swept through one storm. The storm they said was impossible, right? So now we're going to have to face this. It will eventually build up. The USA will be covered by a storm, right? This is going to become common and scary for a lot of people. Period. But then we're going to see, when you see nations covered by storms, right? That's when it's going to become real for people. Unfortunately, it's going to be too late, right? It's going to be too late. If 4 years ago I talked about these storms, that was the actual time to do something about them. You can't do anything about it now, right? I already knew that. Conditions, the closer you get to these things, you can't really maneuver like you used to. And so that's why you see a lot of people building. They're actually lifting their homes 25 feet above sea level, right? A lot of people are doing this now because they know what's about to happen to the oceans. They know about some of the earthquakes they're expecting, which are going to cause these tsunamis to come in that affect just about everything, right? These are, they're not really predictable either. These things are predictable, but where they're going to happen, you can't predict that. How devastating they'll be, you can't predict that. So we see a buildup. It's a clear buildup, and it's not going backward, which brings in another problem. This winter, I believe could be a real struggle for some folks. There's nothing that can be done about it except that people really begin to understand how to keep themselves warm if it gets cold, right? And of course, how to keep themselves, fed if they can't get anywhere. Just like at the beginning of the year, I told people to make sure they know the exits out of their towns. This winter, before this winter hits, hopefully they have some dry food, right? Some dry food stored up somewhere, just in case they can't get out, just in case the trucks can't travel. Because if we have this moisture,
snow and
Pastor,
water and flood.
Yes.
Okay.
The same moisture, 6 inches of rain
Yep.
You know how much snow that is?
Oh, that's like
That'll stop the city.
5 or 6
Right.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Parallel.
that'll stop the city. And if it's that heavy, dense stuff, which it will likely be, it'll be there for weeks. Weeks. And that's not going to be it's just not going to be
now,
good.
Mike, the people listening to this broadcast right now are wondering why. The question that they're saying is, okay, Mike, we see, because you've brought these things up over the period of time, and they've all come to pass. That you'll say something one day, we'll see this. It might take 3 years, it might take 5 years, but here it is. Now they're going to ask this question, Mike, why is it happening? Can you, without breaking classified information, can you share with us some indication of what's causing this catastrophe?
You have to look outside of the Earth, right?
Okay.
You have to really take some of the data from the other planets and look at the other planets and see if they have had weather anomalies on the other planets, temperature anomalies, if they've had any type of incline in trending to their temperatures. For example, certain planets, their temperature rose about 400 degrees above what
That's
it usually
insane.
is.
That's just
right?
just wrong. I mean, that's just crazy is what I'm trying to say. That's just insane.
And what that means is once you secure that data, I mean, really get some good, not this public stuff, not this, this political data that people use for
Right.
different causes, but you have to really look at the data and get some true data and see these spikes, see these averages. Then you'll know that all the planets are being affected, right? In some way, all the planets are being affected. Once you find out all the planets are affected, it is not indigenous to Earth. It is the entire solar system, because our weather phenomena, is it not changing?
Oh, yeah. It's
In
changing.
conjunction with the sun.
Folks,
We see changes in the sun, we see changes in the weather phenomena here.
Folks, what Mike's
And
telling
in the
you,
sun.
what Mike's telling you, you see where I'm saying I'm doing this blast from the past for your love gift of $100 or more. I want to give you 5 full webinars. One of these webinars I'm going to give you is what's called Planet X, What's Next? And another one of those 5 was called Apocalyptic Signs. And Mike's in every one of these 5, okay? You go back, you get these 5. Let me send them to you. And you listen to all the different people, Steve Quayle and L.A. Marzulli and all the different people. But listen to Mike's all 5 times that he spoke in these webinars, especially Planet X, What's Next, and Apocalyptic Signs. You will hear Mike explain to you 5 years ago what was coming. And then you're gonna fall out of your seat, because what Mike talked about 5 years ago on those webinars are happening and beyond. It's exceeded past that, Mike. It's beyond what you said. I mean, this is for one hand, you're right. You tell us about how the oceans are heating up, but on the other hand, it's bitter cold and how people are going to survive. Both things are happening: dry and wet, heat and cold. Talk about that.
Yeah, and back to this conversation, the planet, right? Our planet is subject to the changes in solar dynamics.
Okay, so how about the sun?
And as the Earth itself generates heat. It generates heat. But the sun augments whatever heat we have. The sun is going to increase that. And for the other planets, likewise. Now, all of us know that on a very hot day in the desert, where the sun is very direct, if you're standing in the shade, it is very cold. Sometimes 30 degrees.
Yeah.
And if you step in the sun, there can be a 70-degree difference between the shade and the heat, right? In the Middle East, for example, many of soldiers have seen snow flurries. At the same time, maybe 200-300 yards in front of you, right? Soldiers are sweating to death because it's 85 degrees. Now think about that. So 85 degrees in the sun, snowing in the shade, right? You get those conditions. That comes from direct sunlight. So as the sun continues to change, the radiant energy from the sun will be direct, just like that over the whole Earth. That means areas in shade and shadow are going to be bitter cold. Areas in the heated portions are going to be hot, right? right? That's going to cause a water displacement like no other, because the water is going to try to thaw and freeze at the exact same time. That causes weight instabilities, warpage. If it does that to the whole planet, which it will, it's going to alter the rotation of our Earth. Now, before anybody says, well, that can't happen, China built a dam, and that dam altered the axis of the Earth. Okay, so there you are. Water, the water on the Earth, which constitutes, by the way, the majority of the Earth. Any change in that water flow can alter the Earth's axis,
causing the Earth to wobble.
That's right. So imagine 1/4 of the water beginning to freeze and slow down, and the other portion of the water is highly active, churning, right? New patterns or vortices forming in the ocean. That's going to cause too much more motion, and then it abruptly changes as the day changes. And then you have another portion of the water in bitter cold, right? And all of that moisture is condensing, hitting in parts of the planet. This will cause a weight distribution. In physics, all that weight has to be accounted for. It's just going to shift across the face of the Earth. And that will begin to cause other problems, right? That will lead up to the water event.
Wow.
What I'm calling the water event. Oh, and by the way, it's already that process on a very small scale, but it's increasing rapidly. It's already begun. That process is beginning. So there will come a day very soon when people wake up and their new clean-cut front yard is going to look like the sky, because it's going to be covered with water.
Because a water event that's going to affect certain, and again, it's hard to predict exactly where these events are going to happen, but they're going to happen in multiple locations. Coastal areas, you would say, run a risk. Would you?
And that'll be, once this water event hits, that'll be the max point at which our atmosphere was able to hold moisture. It's also going to be the time when we have the clouds, right? Cloud disbursement, the process of the clouds, all that's going to change. This will be followed by dryness. So there's a good chance we won't see rain for it could be a whole year. We won't see rain. Nobody will see rain for about a whole year. Think about that. So after it hits this max point where we have that water event, all cloud structures will have changed. The atmospheric pressures will have changed, right? And then after that point, dryness will be everywhere. The water is going to be in the oceans, but there's going to be no water anywhere else.
Because there's a change in atmospheric.
That's right. The atmosphere it'll be churned so badly, Pastor Paul, that cloud formation, the clouds will simply dissipate, right? We also have another effect happening right now. We have chaotic regions of our magnetosphere that keep forming in random places. And it's building up also. This will also dry out the atmosphere, right? So with all these conditions, we're going to have a very dry atmosphere after this water event. It's a potential. I mean, it could be 13 years before anybody sees an inch of rain anywhere.
I mean, this is just unbelievable information to understand. But when you understand what's happening to the other planets because of what's happening to our sun, and of course, we could talk about why is our sun reacting the way it is. Well, we've talked about a binary system.
That's external. Yep.
It's external, right? Yep. It's beyond.
I believe we're in a binary system, Pastor Paul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a binary system. A lot of people call what could be in the binary system, what Zachariah Ascension called it. Some of the folks in other organizations, they simply think it's a binary star. You have some these folks who own some of these optics that look out deep in space. They're tracking some of the energy left over by a secondary star. You have some people that think we have 3 suns, Jupiter being the remnants of one of them.
Right.
I've due heard, to its chemical nature. Oh, and by the way, Jupiter is, well, I can't even talk about Jupiter. Let's just say that probably in the near future, everybody's minds will be blown, and they'll find out that they made a mistake with Jupiter.
Well, now I have heard, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I have heard, though, BP Earthwatch say that Jupiter could be our twin, at least for the standpoint of size, to keep balance with the sun, and that the third object is what we could call it Planet X. We can call it whatever you want to call it. We could say it's a moon from Planet X. Maybe you could call it Nibiru. We got all these different names, but that this third object coming in is what's disrupting the balance of our universe. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, or if Jupiter just has its own deal, and that this third object, we'll call it, is actually the binary twin of our sun, or is it just a foreign object so big that it's disrupting everything? I mean, that's three options to talk about there.
Yeah. Well, also, every planet in the solar system, and if a person is a evolutionist, sorry about this, but every planet in the solar system is purposed, right?
Yes, I agree.
It seems like it's purposed for Earth.
Yes.
That's what it seems like it's purposed for, because each planet adds a sustaining dynamic to the Earth, right? Each one is important. By the way, we have remnants on this planet of just about every other thing out there. So it's almost like our solar system is like one big uniformed, I guess, machine that keeps life on Earth. But it is quite amazing that life is sustained here on Earth and has not changed for a very long time.
Right.
Right? And we're essentially a big rock floating out in space. But men make mistakes, and they have ideas and theories that simply don't pan out. Could Jupiter be, the twin of Earth? I mean, it could be. We don't know that it's not. Nobody really knows that it's not. God knows, we don't know. But there is a weight problem with our solar system. Okay. There is a mass problem with our solar system, and 90% of the mass that's supposed to be in our solar system is not in the solar system.
Then where is it, Mike?
That's right. Now, we're talking about mass by way of inertia, by way of some other things. So it is just not in the solar system. If you look at some of the celestial mechanics of how they calculate orbits and trajectories and everything, all of it's adjusted, right? Because of something that should be there, but it's not. Something is tugging at everything going in specific directions. They have correction formulas that go in a spacecraft in the calculations of the trajectories of spacecraft that will correct their trajectories, giving account for a tug or a pull.
Yes.
Always in the same spot. The axis of the Earth points to something very interesting, and it always has, and it never deviates from what it's pointing at. But the Earth is not the only thing affected by this location.
Everything's
right?
being affected. I mean,
and it's so bad that they have cut off, right? It's very difficult for a person to get direct observation because it's off limits. These areas are either at war all the time, or they're simply off limits. You can't get there. The average person cannot get there and to observe it. But yeah, I believe there's an external body. I personally believe that some of the stories in history are not exactly the star coming by itself, right?
Yeah.
But just like our solar system, we have planets in it. Right?
Yes.
And our planets, if two solar systems begin to pass each other, then some of the more distant objects could intrude into other parts of that solar system.
Yes.
And given some of these historical writings that are out there, I believe that constitutes, or that makes up for some of that. Right? Like, for example, an object that people saw pass in the atmosphere that exchanged lightning from it to the earth, purple lightning from it to the earth, gases that would come off of one body coming to the earth, and nobody could breathe. That was left outside, right? Poisonous gases that would do that. All these different stories seem to tell the exact same thing, that there's a body that passes within our solar system, and somehow it exchanges material with Earth or disrupts Earth in some sort of way. And there's a lot of debris with this other passing system. Now, in real observations, well, they have seen it in a binary system. When one star is in proximity to the other, whatever star is the brightest star, is some of the material immediately starts to flow towards the other star, the colder star, as though it recharges or feeds off the atmosphere of the yellow or white or whatever the star color is. They have seen this observation. If that happens to us, we're not going to have light for a number of days, because all the photons are going to be redirected towards the other stars that pass us by.
Now, Immanuel Velikovsky, who also, again, these are theories, and he wrote his book called Worlds in Collision in the 1950s, and I've read a significant amount of it, and of course Zacharias Sitchin. They have different theories, but Immanuel Velikovsky did believe, as you just said, that there were two solar systems that were passing by each other, and that there was going to be an object that was going to invade, and not to invade, but come into our solar system, and maybe Pluto goes into theirs. I don't know, but the thing is, this object, according to Avi Loeb, that our entire solar system is on a gravitational pull in the exact same location, at the exact same degree, that mathematically.
Yep.
There has to be, okay, and that's what he says. Of course, he hasn't got access to all the tools I think that you do, but he has enough of them. He has seen enough information to know there's something out there that's causing this. But I'm asking this question from a pastor's standpoint: is all of this in the perfect timing of the coming of Jesus Christ? I mean, is that why Christ said, "Hey, when I come, the heavens are going to be shaken. The earth's going to be quaking. I mean, things are going to be falling apart, and people are going to be in just as bad a shape as the earth itself," I think, which has been your point many times over. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah. They will. And Revelation gives us a big insight into that. There's that specific part in Revelation, in the right before the Abaddon is released, right?
Yes.
Before Abaddon is released. In Revelation, it says that a third part of the moon is smitten.
Yep.
And a third part of the sun is smitten, and a third part of the sky, right?
Yes.
And only a third part of the day shone forth, that. Okay, that's impossible, first of all. You can't have a third part of the sun missing. What you can have is something that's positioned between the earth and everything else. If it's in close proximity, right?
Yep.
And it's blocking out a part of the
Stars.
sun. And it blocks off a part of the sky. So as a part of the stars are missing, that means it's parked outside of our atmosphere. That's, if you do the simulations, if you do the mathematics, you can get the distance of this object. You can get the size of this object, Pastor. And then it says right after that, the key to the bottomless pit is an angel opens up the pit right after that. So it's as if something comes positions itself right there beside us, and it blocks off a third part of everything. And then all of a sudden, the bottomless pit is open. And it says, when it says smoke comes out of the pit, well, if something were that close and that big, based on the mathematics, by Revelation, it will cause earth eruptions like we've never seen before on this earth. It will cause earthquakes all over the place. And so smoke would fill the sky if this happens, right? Well, it's going to happen according to Revelation. And that is one of the biggest proofs. I'm going to call it a proof. That's one of the biggest proofs I've ever seen in Revelation, something that can be calculated.
Yep.
Right? This thing is enormous, and if you go even further to try and get the mass of this thing is not tiny. This thing is huge. This thing is big.
So we
right?
can basically take Revelation. If we take those statistics, we could figure out how big it is and how close it will be.
How close it will be, and the mass of it. You can get a pretty good assumption of the mass of the object.
There's no way when this thing comes into view, it's too late. The old saying is, it's too late to pray now.
Right.
All right, I mean, that's right. But basically, this is what Jesus meant. that the heavens will be shaken, that the earth will reel and rock like a drunkard. There'll be earthquakes, massive earthquakes in different places. And men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven will be shaken. And we're going to see the Son of Man coming. I mean, with the clouds, it says, with power and great glory. Now, I don't know exactly the timing on each one of those components. That could be over a period of a day, or a period of 18 months, or a period of 18 seconds. I mean, really, I can't answer that. Can you, Mike? Can you?
No, I can say this. Jesus said, he said the world is not going to know. Right?
Yeah,
that's what he said.
I
He said the
know.
world's not going to know. That time is going to take them like a thief in the night.
So
right?
it's quick.
They,
It's gotta
like
be
the
quick.
days of Noah were, they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So if the world does not know, then any calculation they make is not right. Maybe that's why they've not been right since, right? They've just not been right.
Well,
That means it's not going to be something within the realm of our expectation.
Well, maybe, Mike,
There's another.
They don't.
Go ahead.
Well, 1 second, and don't lose your thought. There's another reason they may not be able to calculate, because they won't look at the Bible and say, well, what does the Holy Scripture say? And then let's go and let's back that out with the calculation.
They're not going to do that.
Then they're never going to know.
If they're not going to, and if they don't know, that means then anything they will attempt is just not going to cut it. It also lets us know, because we know there are going to be some scientists out there, some pretty good ones, trying to save face and trying to be number one and give their best calculations. Some of them love their families. They're going to be sincere. They're just going to be wrong, which means whatever conclusion they come out with is not going to be the right conclusion. Global warming, they say, is caused by human beings, right? I don't think so.
No.
Right?
No.
Because other planets wouldn't have global warming, and the sun would not, it wouldn't change. At the same time, we're having this global warming effect. Do we have an effect on climate? Sure we do. But I have to remind everybody, why is it that meteorites can fall into the earth just to kill everything, and the earth just self-repairs? The earth can self-repair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We've had volcanic eruptions. We've had floods that cover the entire earth. We've had civilizations rise and fall. And here it is, which means the earth can self-repair. But we can't. How are we going to hurt the earth? That way.
We
Not
can't
that
hurt
way.
it. Well,
we can do it
anyway,
with
why
nuclear
is these
weapons
other planets
and kill life.
Yeah, why are these other planets heating up? There's no global,
Right,
there's
exactly.
no smokestacks there.
Exactly.
Nobody drilling
Exactly.
oil there. So, I mean,
Exactly.
it's a ridiculous argument. It's
Al Gore
absolutely,
started
Al Gore
with that.
started it. Yeah, he inconvenient
Yeah,
truth.
Go back in 2004 and you'll find out all this began with a magnetar. They got scared. They were scared because a magnetar had blown up 11 million light years before. It took off a part of the atmosphere. That is the day part of the ozone was stripped, or part of our atmosphere was stripped off. About 78 men died instantly from microwave radiation from where the absence of the atmosphere, and some other ones were burned. And they didn't want to, they had an emergency meeting that night. The next day, the entire week, they gave trillions into this cause because they were trying to mitigate the effects of a magnetar. It's one of the scariest things people begin to learn about, and there's nothing we can do about it. These things blew up millions of years ago, and they just haven't gotten to us yet. They know that there are 3 more that we're going to have to face. They know this, and there's nothing they can do about it. If that magnetar had been positioned possibly maybe 2 inches lower than what it was, just 2 inches, the Earth's atmosphere would have been blown off.
Wow.
So think of something, Pascal, no bigger than your house,
Right.
that has the mass of about, like 12 stars, right? 12 of our suns.
Wow.
But it's no bigger than your house. It's that dense. And a 1 inch by 1 inch cube of it, right, shifted, causing a magnetar that traveled 11 million, light years. That's just a lot of stuff, right? And they know that more have blown. They have neutrino detectors that they have utilized. Those neutrino detectors were going off like crazy in 1996, 1990. I believe it was, 2002. And I believe that Japan's neutrino detector has gone off a few times this year. They indicate massive activity in our atmosphere. So whatever's coming, there's nothing we can do about it. The indications are already there. Supernovae and everything else that's blown up out there and is coming our way.
Mike, this is incredible information, but I'm glad we're having this tonight. And guys, I'm telling you, this means that the signs of the last days are upon us. They're the days of the Bible, where Christ said soon he would come. When the fig tree, when he said the stars would fall out of the heavens, or meteorites and stuff would start falling, like a fig tree casting its untimely figs. And I think, Mike, what you're sharing with us tonight, this is some of the best stuff, explanation to what's been going on with our planet and why billionaires are building incredible underground, elaborate bunker systems, and nations are building cities underground to try to survive the apocalypse. The apocalypse that they know is coming.
Yeah.
And the populace.
And they're gonna rearrange the world to protect themselves.
Yeah. And it's not gonna work.
So look, in what was that, Pastor Paul? I think it was on your show in 2019. I said this. I said, when you see people and they seem not to care about what they're doing, that means they're making preparations. They already have the news, and they know what the future holds, and they're getting prepared themselves. So when we see people come in that are not serious about the people, right?
Yeah.
Then we know what's happening. Because I do believe they will eventually abandon people topside, when the trouble comes. But we're going to have clear indications that we're in trouble. We will. And I believe those indications have already begun.
Mike, this has been a great show, and I really appreciate taking the time. This really explains the things that's happening right now and how it relates to the Bible, so that people can prepare themselves to get your soul right with God, get your families looking toward the Lord, start doing the right things, and be prepared, and don't be shocked by anything you see, because there's an explanation. It's in the Word of God. So, Mike, I just want to thank you for taking the time to be with us again tonight. Really do.
My honor, Pastor Paul. My honor.
The honor's mine. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless.
All right. God bless.
As I said, guys, in these 5 webinars, especially those two of those. Well, even Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist, which is just a great webinar with Steve Quayle in there, Russ Dizdar, and L.A. Marzulli, and Mike Around the World, and others. But Mike, especially in the effects, What's Next, Planet X, and another one called The Apocalyptic Signs, okay? In those 2 alone, Mike's in all 5 of them, but in those 2 alone, his predictions of what was coming, and these were 5 and 6 years ago, is incredible today when you see what's happening. Your love gift of $100 or more, I will send you all 5 of those webinars, okay? Complete webinars, all 5 of them. This is a blast from the past. And you certainly want it. And those 5 are, once again, What's Next, Planet X, Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist, October Surprise, The Apocalyptic Signs, and Spiritual Warfare, with some of the best speakers we've ever had collected in all 5. But you know what I'm more concerned about? Is that people aren't ready. People are not saved. People are not ready to meet the Lord. They've not given their life to Jesus Christ. But tonight you can change that. They can all change for you. You can get your sins washed in the blood of the Lamb. You can get your names written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And I have a song here Pastor Melvin Whittington wrote that I feel like is perfect for this altar call. And it's called Get Ready. You just type, I want to be saved. Just type, I want to be saved. I will pray with you tonight. I will pray with you tonight.
Can you feel the earth beneath you? tremble with fear? Can you hear the Spirit calling? Judgment is near. Can you see the signs appearing in the heavens above? It's time to get down on our knees and go back to our first love. Can you feel the sting of birth pains? The child's almost here. Hear the mountains, can you hear them rumble? Hearts failing with fear. Can you see the water rising and the fires burning bright? Time to get your house in order. Make sure your heart is right. Oh, get ready. It won't be long now. Get ready. He's coming in the clouds. In the twinkling of an eye, he's gonna split the eastern sky and we'll be gone. Get ready. It can't be very long. Get ready. Soon we'll sing that song that the angels cannot sing, because it's only the redeemed. He'll wipe our tears away. We'll be with the Lord to stay. Get ready. Can you feel the earth beneath you tremble with fear? Can you hear the Spirit calling, saying judgment is near? Can you see the signs appearing in the heavens above? Time to get down on our knees. Got to go back to our first love. Get ready. Soon we'll hear the trumpet blast. Get ready. The King is coming back at last.
Come on.
Graves will open wide, and the saints of old will rise and we'll be gone. Get ready. The table is spread. Get ready. Almost time to break bread, to celebrate the marriage of the bridegroom to the bride. All our loved ones gather round us, with Jesus to ever abide. Get ready. Oh, get ready.
God bless you, sheepdog. God bless you.
Oh, get ready. Can you feel? Can you hear? Can you see? Get ready.
Pastor Melvin Whittington wrote the song. Israel Hall arranged the music for it. There's a bunch of people wanting to get saved, people rededicating, a lot of folks wanting to get things right with God. And you know, Pastor Kevin Copley from Community Gospel Baptist Church, he'll tell you, some of you are about ready to let go. But don't let go. Let God change your life. I'm going to pray with everyone right after this song. Kevin Copley.
I almost let go. I felt like I just couldn't take life anymore. My problems had me bound. Depression weighed me down. But God held me close, so I wouldn't let go. God's mercy kept me, so I wouldn't let go. I almost gave up. I was right on the edge of a breakthrough, but couldn't see it. The devil really had me, but Jesus came and he grabbed me and he held me close, so I wouldn't let go. God's mercy kept me, so I wouldn't let go. So I'm here today because he kept me. I'm alive today because of his grace. Oh, he held me close, so I wouldn't let go. God's mercy kept me, so I wouldn't let go. I almost let go.
Don't do it.
I felt like I just couldn't take life anymore. My problem had me bound. Depression weighed me down. But God held me close, so I wouldn't let go. God's mercy kept me, so I wouldn't let go. So I'm here today because he kept me. I'm alive today only because of his grace. Oh, he kept me close, so I wouldn't let go. Oh, God kept me, so I wouldn't let go.
Great song there by Kevin Copley. He's a pastor at Community Gospel Baptist Church in Knox, Indiana. You can meet him and hear him sing and preach in this great Summer Fire meeting that's coming up August 28th, 29th, and 30th. We got people wanting to be saved, people wanting to be rededicated, people wanting to give their life to Jesus Christ. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, you said in your word, for by grace are you saved through faith. It's not in ourselves, but it's a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Lord, you promised us in the word of God that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So we wonder, as people are watching tonight, people are wondering where they stand with the Lord. Some folks are going through tragedies, sickness in their family, maybe loss of loved ones. Lord, we are asking for your mercy and grace tonight. We're asking for patience, Lord, that only you can give, grace that only you can give. And so we repent of any sins in our life, Lord. We call upon your name, and we believe in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. We believe in salvation through Christ, and we ask it in Jesus' name. And the people said, amen and amen. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. I think that I'm so glad you got saved. If you need to be baptized, you can come to Knox, Indiana, to Summer Fire, which is August 28th, 29th, and 30th. We want you to be a part of that because it's going to be a great weekend for sure. Kevin Wilson will be there. Kevin Copley will be there. And Bishop Larry Ragland from Birmingham, Alabama will be there. Sister Heidi and I will be there as well, and everybody else. So come on, be a part of it, okay? God bless you. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I got to go, but I'll be back. See you guys tomorrow right here on the coming apocalypse.